Alright, the Grand Rapids Town Board is meeting today, Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. First agenda item is Pledge of Allegiance, and Bill, I'll have you lead that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would any veterans that served in the military please stand?
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
Next agenda item is approve agenda for meeting. Any changes? Okay. Third agenda item, approve minutes of the October 16th, 2024 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next agenda item is public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Note, the board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during public comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. Public comment? Okay. All right, monthly reports from departments. Fire department?
All right, evening board and residents. We're currently staffed with 48 members. We're always looking for motivated fire individuals for fire and EMS. Stop by the station and talk to me if you're interested. For the month of October, busy month, we responded to 57 calls, 40 EMS, 17 for fire. Compares to 39 EMS last year and 11 fire last year at this time. So of that 17 fire calls, 11 were in Grand Rapids, 0 in Saratoga, 1 in Grant, 5 mutual aid. We had 2 structure alarms. We did mutual aid with Friendship, Bancroft, Vesper, and Wisconsin Rapids. We had 4 motor vehicle accidents, 2 gas leak smells, 1 wildland brush call, 1 power line call, 2 carbon monoxide calls. This last month for training, our training consisted of the following. Our EMS group, we did a mock hunting tree stand accident on the Town 40 and did some work out there. Fire, we did vehicle extrication, broke up the groups in smaller groups and tore apart some cars over at the town garage. Thanks to Neiman's service for getting us those cars to tear apart, or Neiman's Towing and Recovery, I should say. Other training, we did drone team license prep, and we did a water rescue missing person drill with Wisconsin Rapids Fire, Wood County Sheriff, Rapids PD, Wood County Sheriff's Rescue, and Port. So thanks for excusing me last month. That's where I was last month. That's why I was absent. So we had 1 department meeting, 5 training meetings, 1 officer meeting. We were busy with our fire protection team. We worked with children from Grant, Pitch, Woodside 4K, and Building Blocks Daycare. We held our annual award night to give out service awards. Just a note on that, Assistant Chief Roosh and Jim Alfred received their 40-year service plaque. So, smoke detectors, we did 2 homes this month, 3 address signs. And the safety department had 0 injuries to report. Any questions from the board? Okay.
Thank you. All right, police department.
Good evening. For October, the PD had 406 calls for service, 405 last year, so it's almost exactly the same. 47 traffic citations were issued last month, 4 ordinance citations and 30 written warnings. On the 26th was the drug take-back event at Pick and Save in Rapids. That's pretty much just Southwood County. 231 pounds of drugs were collected, 82 pounds of which were just collected by Grand Rapids for the previous 6 months. Preparations were made for the state cross-country meet, which was held on the 2nd. Our auxiliary volunteers helped out with that, as they did with the recent election. If you saw one here, always appreciate the assistance from them. Investigator Kubishak participated in the Fall Community Bike Ride. She also attended Career Day at Lincoln High School. That was on the 22nd. That is where students interested in government service, or not necessarily even just law enforcement, but any government career, kind of meet different people from different professions. Sergeant Drinkwine and I did interviews for applicants applying to attend the Police Academy for Mid-State Technical College. I did one day, Dave did the other, along with the assistant chief from Stevens Point and the Portage County Sheriff. Kurt Hoyer, who I'm sure you all remember or have heard of, informed us that the class should be just about full, so that's good news. Some of our local agencies assisted us with a canine sniff at River Cities High School on the 17th. Nothing significant was located, so that's also good news. We'll continue those spontaneous checks to keep illegal substances out of our schools. As always, if you do have any questions, contact me. If I could just touch on scams just briefly, because we're having a rash again, and some of them are for very significant dollar amounts. Just remember, the IRS or any government agency will never issue a arrest warrant if you owe them money. Just like probably even a private lender, you do no good to them in jail, right? How can you pay it back? So if you're having to pay money thinking you're gonna get a bigger amount, that is a scam, 100%. You never will pay money to get money. Same thing if someone calls and they're your grandchild. That's a super common one that's still going around. They get all this info on Facebook, on social media. They know their names, the correct names. It's someone crying, they've been in an accident, they're in jail, something like that. They need money right away, so they take advantage of you, usually in the late evening hours when you're not thinking real clearly. So keep that in mind too. If your loved one really was in jail, there's probably no hurry getting the money together, right? So any questions, just call us at the PD.
Thank you. All right, Public Works.
Kind of short and simple for us. We've just been working on servicing vehicles, getting them ready for winter, and we also installed all the gravel for the upcoming bike trail to be paved this next year, which was approved back in July and also at the previous budget meetings we've had. So along with that, we've also done patching as time permits and sign maintenance, and dealt with numerous complaints. Thank you.
All right, then treasurer report.
For the month of October, our checking account has a balance of $107,153.28. The repo to go along with that has a balance of $91,453.91. Our money market at Prevail has a balance of $342,666.34. Our tax account has a balance of $691.93. The repo for that account has a balance of $3,923.05. Our ARPA account is sitting at $9,569.80, which should be getting moved. And we're done with ARPA. And I just want to remind people, I don't have tax bills yet. We don't have the tax rate set, so I can't tell you what tax bills are. I've had quite a few calls. It won't come till the beginning of December. Holiday greetings in the mail.
All right, next agenda item is consideration and possible action on resolution 2024-20, honoring the life of Thomas M. Buss Jr., or Sr.
Can I?
Yep.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce Tom Buss Sr. to you and to present a short synopsis of Tom's tenure in our town. Tom M. Buss Sr. was born on November 12, 1931 and passed away on January 14, 2024. He would have been 93 years old as of yesterday. He was born in the town of Grant, Wisconsin. He ran his family farm in Kellner, Wisconsin, and Tom spent most of his life here in the town of Grand Rapids. Tom loved his country. He joined the National Guard in 1949 and remained in the Guards through 1966. And I also learned this evening that Jason Warren's father served with Tom in the Guards. He worked as a track foreman for 43 years at Consolidated Papers, the beer and mill. Tom became a town supervisor in April of 1982 and became a town chairman in July in 1985 through April 2007. When I was researching the town's archives, I couldn't help to see all the accomplishments that Tom made for the betterment of our town. Reading the minutes and the motions he made only confirmed his commitment he had to the town of Grand Rapids and especially to the residents of this town. If you didn't know, Tom loved roads. One of the very first things he did when becoming a town official in April 22nd of 1982 was to discuss and implement Saratoga, Village of Port, posting town line roads and other borderline streets. He worked with changing and implementing Ordinance Number 29, an ordinance regulating the construction of the roads and methods of financing the same and alteration and excavation of town right-of-way. Many of the parts of that ordinance he worked on is still in existence and part of that ordinance. Ordinance Number 21, regulating parking upon the highway. Ordinance 24, the building code. Also Ordinance 25, regulating in the display of house numbers. In 1987, Highway 54, best known as the Riverview Expressway, first came in front of him when he was the chair. He had vision and assisted in working with the engineers to assist to make the Highway 54 come to fruition. He worked with the state of Wisconsin to slowly close the town's landfill, knowing that this was the direction the town needed to move towards. In August 1987, Ordinance Number 3, regulating solid waste and recycling, was the beginning of the ordinance that we now operate under. Having capped off the landfill and implemented a monitoring process under his administration, he and the board implemented residential solid waste and recycling pickup. While he was chair, I was impressed and amazed at his foresight that he had. Many things today are in existence and haven't needed to change with the times. Shortly after he became chairman of the town, he was involved with working with Darrell Berziner, creating the 61.5 acres of cranberry bogs on Washington Street, and today is a flourishing cranberry grower and processing plant owned by Mariani. During his tenure, subdivisions were booming. Many of the subdivisions were started and eventually added on, for they became very popular with the forethought that led to the subdivision's popularity. Timber Valley, Brookshire, Hamlink, now known as Black Forest, Blueberry, 47th Court, just to name a few. One more accomplishment that came before him while he was in chair was the implementation of the Lions Club. He and Wally Bone had vision for our community needs. Tom enjoyed driving his old pickup throughout the town, especially on Saturdays. That's how I got to know Tom. He would make his way around the town, stopping to visit anyone who was outside. He always asked how things were going, and he truly did care about your answer. Tom mentored many people, including myself. He approached me one day asking if I would be interested in running for a town supervisor position. He was a great steward for the taxpayers, which I admired most. He said that he would mentor me. He showed me the town through his eyes. And I'll never forget his teachings, and to this day, many of my decisions are based on his teachings. Thomas's memory lives on through his sister Barbara, beloved children Rita Chipman, Jackie Woodward, Jewel Ninneman, and Brenna Buss. 9 grandchildren, and 20 great-grandchildren. Tom M. Buss Sr. has made many accomplishments for our town. These accomplishments were made with genuine commitment, unwavering devotion to the residents, compassion, and foresight. Thank you, Tom. With that being said, I'd like to ask the town chair, along with the board, to recognize the life and commitment of Tom M. Buss Sr. with the resolution of 2024-20. With your permission, may I have the pleasure of reading this resolution to our citizens? Thank you. Resolution number 2024-20. It's a resolution honoring the life of Tom M. Buss Sr. Whereas resident and longtime public servant Thomas M. Buss Sr., born on November 12, 1931, peacefully passed away on January 14, 2024. And whereas Thomas was born and raised in central Wisconsin and was a proud veteran who served his country honorably in the National Guard from 1949 to 1966 as part of the 32nd Red Arrow Division Artillery. And whereas during his career, Thomas helped run his family farm in Kellner, Wisconsin, and later worked as a track foreman for 43 years at the Consolidated Paper Mill. And whereas Thomas devoted over 25 years of his life to public service and the town of Grand Rapids, serving from 1982 to 1985 as town board supervisor and later from 1985 to 2007 as town chairman. And whereas Thomas' leadership, vision were instrumental in contributing to the betterment of our community, including roles in establishing critical infrastructure, contributing to many facets of road business and residential development the town has today. And whereas Thomas's diverse passions and interests enriched his life and those around him, from his deep knowledge of the town and greater community, his devotion to his faith and congregation, and love of family and friends, Thomas will always be remembered for his hard work and dedication as a community leader, mentor, and friend. Now therefore it be resolved that the Town of Grand Rapids Board of Supervisors hereby honors and celebrates the life of Thomas M. Buss Sr., recognizing his unwavering dedication, leadership, and service to our community, and his profound impact on all of those who had the privilege of knowing him. Thank you.
Could we have the family just stand?
I'd like to make that motion.
Second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 7, consideration and possible action request from U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for temporary placement of monitoring well on town property parcel 0700235B.
I'll make that motion to approve the request of the Army Corps of Engineers for the temporary placement of the monitoring well on parcel 0700235B.
I will second that. And just to let you know, they have 9 wells that they're putting in. 9 wells, and they're just about all in. They just put in one on 45th Street. So they got 3 more to put in.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 8, consideration and possible action on new sign design for municipal building. So we've got everything in here again. I think we just need to come to an agreement tonight.
Yep, you should have, you've got the 2 logos, and I know we kind of talked about it at budget, but you just need to decide which sign you want to have plan commission look at in December. So I tried to separate them, and so it's a little bit more clear. So you've got your first one, that is the lit one with the aluminum base, the formed base, and then you've got the two different sizes, the 10 or the 13, which I believe we were told the 10 is the better resolution, but either is fine. B is just the aluminum reveal, not the formed base, and then C is the non-lit, which I think we all kind of decided against the non-lit one, so it's really A or B, and we put the higher amount in, so we've got, I guess it just really depends on whether you, is that the only difference from my understanding was the base and then the size of the.
And with our budget money that we have from this year, along with the budget money of next year, that doesn't cover the costs yet of the electricity, or does it? I can't recall.
So we have 20,000 in this year's budget to put as a down payment.
Mhm.
And then for next year, the proposed amount, we put 11, we're gonna do a down payment of 25,000 this year, the other 5 comes from the general fund, and then a down 11,000 for next year for the difference. So that's up to 36,000, because that was the most expensive one, was 735. So choosing that one, if you chose the most expensive one, that's what we would be budgeting for. I mean, the electricity, we don't know what that's going to cost. I mean, that's gonna just come out of the utility line, so.
Did we actually come up with an idea of what the graphics are gonna be too? Did we decide that?
I think we all decided on the horizontal one where it says Grand Rapids large,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
And I highlighted the only other difference. The one says single steel support and the other says double steel supports painted, so. So I guess actually the better, if you, not to have the painted supports, if you want the steel one, that would be the option A.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask a question here. One of them is the amount, does it, and I'm asking for legal on this. Did we not have to put out for proposals for this and at least have bids on it?
So if our policy requires it, yes, if we have a finance policy that requires it. But this wouldn't be the public construction that would require us to put it out for a bid.
So it don't need a bid.
It doesn't require a bid, but if we have a policy that covers it, we would have to pursue it in a way that.
State law, over $25,000 you have.
So that's for public construction, and I don't think this fits within public construction.
I got a different opinion, but that's all right.
What's your opinion, Jeff? I'd like to hear it.
I would agree. I mean, you mean as far as the bidding or not bidding? Or in general?
Or anything, just your opinions.
I would agree with Nick that this is not public construction. I think this is our one opportunity to put something out there that's going to be out there for a number of years. And I think the little bit better technology is probably worth the incremental cost difference, and would want to have the little bit better size pixels on this one, so that would be where I would fall on it right now.
Do you think it would, being that you're the type of work that you do for a living, do you think the lighting would be disturbing in any way?
I mean, there's people that, complain about the lights across the street, the street lights and stuff. So I'm thinking it gets shut down at a certain time at night, that it's not gonna probably be a nuisance to people after, I would assume, 9 or 10 o'clock, whatever that ordinance is, to limit that. So I don't see that being an issue.
I have one more.
Mhm.
I personally think there should have been 2 bids on this. There was a local person that did bid on it when we went to the county to try to get money for this. And that person lives in the town, does this kind of work. I just think, me sitting on the committee that went this, I never met this person before the bids come in at all. And I just think we should have stayed local if the price was right. So I'm voting no on it, whichever one.
So at our last meeting where you had stated that, I had suggested that now that you have some specs to take it and go get that bid from that person. Did you do that, or?
I didn't have permission to go do that. That's what happened here. This bid come to somebody else in this town. It didn't come to the committee.
But with that one 2 years ago, you brought that one.
I now brought that one because we were going out for a, from the seed committee was giving out money, and we requested a lighted sign. Thought it was a good idea if we could have got it, but we was turned down because the city of up in north Pittsville got a sign made and the county paid for it.
Right, so we have that, and then this was the second one that we got, and to compare to that one. But this didn't come to the committee because I had asked you if you wanted to have a public works meeting, and you told me to put it on the town board agenda. So that's why it came here instead of to our committee.
I think we should have a sign. I think we should have a lighted sign. But I'm voting no because I think we should have had both those people come before what we wanted. I'm only one person.
So just for future use, though, are you saying we should be accepting bids from residents of the town, even if they're more than somebody out of town, just because they're
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
I just wanted to clarify that.
The most advantageous bid is what we should.
Regardless of where they are from.
So which is the better base on this particular quote?
I believe A would be because that's the formed aluminum base with the steel support, whereas B is just the reveal with the supports painted. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're correct.
Yes. Okay.
So one of the things that we talked about in previous meetings was like the mowing and weed whacking around it. So either one of them would be fine, or is that A is better?
No, either one of those would be fine. I think that gentleman had just suggested, most people just throw some bark around the bottom. I guess you can,
Well,
do you have a,
it's on cement as well.
oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, and do you see any issue with whichever way, you're mowing around it or anything?
If you, I mean, it's budgeted for already, so, I mean, and we have the cost of electricity included in this. I don't think we had the cost of the concrete, but.
Yeah, that's,
I
he's
think
limited
that's
to
all
the phones
included.
included.
Oh, he's gonna do that too?
Yeah.
Should be part
Okay.
of the
And keep in mind,
But
this
this is to
isn't.
go to the plan
Right, this is
commission.
just
Yeah.
going to plan commission. You're not approving the sign.
Right,
you're
but we
just-
have to send them something.
Yep.
Yes, it
Yeah.
would be whatever was decided.
So this will come back to the December town board for you to actually decide whether
Right.
to.
So the intent is to send the specs to the town, to the planning
Yes.
commission.
Mhm.
Which they'll meet 2 nights before our December board meeting. And then if they are okay with it, then it'll be on Wednesdays. Well, it'll be on Wednesday's agenda for us, and then the board can decide whether to actually move forward with it.
So we can actually send both A and B
Oh, you could, I guess.
Yeah,
for
we could.
review. Is that what our
So
board
technically,
wants to do?
the review that the plan commission is going to do is as a conditional use permit for that electronic variable message display. In the past, the plan commission has typically wanted to have specs, the
Right.
exact kind of sign that you want. they'd review that, recommend conditions, and then that comes to this board, of course, with a public hearing and a resolution. So you certainly could send both of them and get their opinion, although for them to review it, in the past, they've wanted specs of the
Yes,
sign that
agreed.
you are asking
Yeah.
for.
They like to, I know from the past, they like to study the, the pixels and things like that. So, I mean, I'll make a motion to approve spec A and spec B along with number 8 to go to the Plan Commission for review and propose their recommendation. Is that
Saying
what we
that they
want to
want
do?
one.
One.
Oh, they
to
just want
decide.
one?
And then also,
Right, because we'd put in, so then the plan commission will have a conditional use permit application with whatever spec
With
one you
whatever.
want. Right, and then they would consider that and make the recommendation to you.
but then also if you say the proposal 32913 or 914, the 913 is
Oh.
the first page of A, that's the 13.3.
Yep.
And then the second one is the 10, so yeah, there's not much of a price difference, and then the 10 is the better one. So if you're in a motion, I would note whichever proposal number you're choosing to send to the Plan Commission.
Well, A is not totally covered by budget. It's off by $385.
But we also have extra in our loan always that,
Okay.
the 385 would be
I
fine.
guess I'll make a motion to approve proposal number 32914 to forward to the Plan Commission for recommendation.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
I have
Yep.
one more point of
Sure.
discussion. I guess just clarification for myself. I'm sorry for relaying this conversation, but, so we're approving the spec and not the bid. So if we wanted to pursue additional bids, that could happen
That's back, yeah.
based on this spec.
Yeah, it would have to be in before the December 12th town board meeting.
Okay.
Yep, so then at the December meeting, what will happen is you'll receive back the conditional use permit. You'll also have the rezoning and a comp plan amendment, because strangely enough, this property is zoned R2. And so we need to rezone this property to fit our ordinance requirements to have a electronic variable message display. So you'll have all of that, and certainly at that time, you can consider any other proposals with the specs. The Plan Commission will just be considering the specs as you've, well, assuming this passes, as you've referred to them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
But real quick though too, with that then, Bill, do you want to take those specs to the person you're talking about and see if you can get
No,
another quote?
I talked to him. No,
I would volunteer for
You
that.
want to? Okay. Sounds good. All right, number 9 is October disbursement vouchers. Then number 10 is operator license application.
And you did have a revised one put on the table, if you can make sure to use that one, please.
I can make a motion to approve the 1 year for Cheryl Sager and Christina Vroman operator's license.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then monthly reports from committees. So Airport Commission.
The Airport Commission met on November 9th, 2024. We had a large audience that morning. Some high points were projects on site, two hangar buildings, two T-hangar buildings, excuse me, had roofs replaced from previous hail damage. Those are insurance claims. American Fence Company wants to do a complete fence and gate inspection and then suggest repairs after that. We have had some issues with gates and fencing this summer. One hangar was sold and then purchased by a new owner that is planning on a purchasing an airplane. Go figure. The ground survey for the airport is nearly complete for the master plan. We talk about this every month, but the master plan is the whole apples per se, I guess, for any type of upgrades, terminal, runway, grounds, etc. Our consulting company, SEH, had 3 reps at the meeting, and they talked with certain duties that they were assigned for the project, and then also a member of the Wisconsin Bureau of Aeronautics was also present. There is a master plan committee that was put together, and they are as follows. The members are, chair is our Mayor Napgezek from our Wisconsin Rapids Mayor, Arnie Nystrom, Stephen Brown, Bill Menzel, and Andy Brown. Forgive me if I have this wrong. Andy Brownlee. Future agenda items. We're looking into a simple AV system for the terminal to assist in meetings and volume levels and so on. Leaks tax transfers from Grand Rapids to Wood County. Under public comment, Sheldon Furkey, one of the hangar owners, explained the change in the personal property taxation and how it affects people that own, especially these hangars. It was kind of a big deal. The personal property tax has been changed, as we probably all know. Next meeting slated for 12/5 of 24, December 5th, 24, 8 a.m. Thank you.
What was that committee that had Nystrom and?
That is the
Mayor?
master plan.
Master Plan Committee.
It was suggested by the consulting company and the BOA to put together a committee to oversee, rather than the commission would therefore
Go from their
go from there.
recommendations.
Correct.
Thank you.
Anything for recycling, solid waste, and water?
No, thank you.
Okay. And then plan commission?
We did not meet.
Okay. Public buildings didn't meet. Anything legislative? No. Public safety, anything?
Did not.
Okay. Economic development, we don't have anything. Personnel, didn't, but we do need to meet. And WTA meeting.
The WTA meeting was held October 17th at the town of Marshfield, that's up in Hewitt. Mike Pitt from the Hewitt Fire Department, maybe you know him, and he did an excellent job, and he was speaking on different things that the fire department does, and it was a great speech that he made. He talked about the problems of drug overdoses and how they get involved in that, and the use of Narcan, and where the money's coming from. And do we get free Narcan?
Our policy at the fire department, our people don't carry Narcan, all the police officers do.
No.
I'm not sure if you're paying for it or getting it from the county. Our philosophy at the fire department is nobody's going in there without a gun and a badge. If they need Narcan, we're taking one of them in with us.
And the
That's our
discussion that come up there is, if you go to the Riverblock building, there's a
dispensary.
vending machine. You can get
There.
all kinds of things in that vending machine, and they're all free,
Okay.
Narcan. Okay, Jack Herrick from District 2 Board Directors from the Towns Association talked about ARIP and applications that were due in September, so those are over with. There's no meeting for the month of November, but the next meeting will be on December 6th at the town of Millador.
Reports from individual town board members. Jeff? Jason?
Just like the progress on the bike path and our parking lot looks very good. Compliment Mike on that earlier, but made short work of that path.
Patty?
Just want to say thank you to our vets.
And Bill?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. All right, any future agenda items, just the sign? Okay, then, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.